Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Killer Author Club. We are here with the Sisters of Suspense, Liv Constantine, and their thrilling new novel, The Senator's Wife. So we will be talking all things The Senator's Wife, so make sure you grab your cocktail, your list of questions for Lynne and Valerie, and sit tight because we will see you on the other side.
Thought you really loved me, guess I was wrong. Thought you'd never leave me, guess I was dumb. Waited like forever to be your plus one, but I guess you were done.
Hello, everybody. I'm Killer Heather Goodenkoff, along with our founding members, Kara Ruda and Kimberly Bell, and we are so excited to welcome writing partners and sisters that make up the dynamic duo of Liv Constantine to the clubhouse. The Killer Author Club exists so readers can interact with their favorite suspense and thriller authors as we chat about killing of the fictional kind, of course. So make sure to drop your questions for Lynne and Valerie in the comments. And though we can't get to them all, we really do try, but we'll be choosing some of them to ask our killer guests. So come join the club. If you're watching this on Facebook or have a Facebook account, check out our public group, Killer Author Club, or if you're really a hardcore killer, our private members only group called the Killer Author Clubhouse, where we host our book clubs and where we will be chatting with the wonderful Alex Finley about his phenomenal What Have We Done on May 30th. We also have a YouTube channel where you can stream us on your big flat screen TV. Do we know how many we're up to this week, Kara?
Millions, I think. I forgot to look. But I'm going to say we're getting close to greatness over there.
Yes,
but we'd love some more follows on YouTube. So, yeah.
So if you're a YouTube watcher, come find us there as well.
Yes,
and you can find everything that you need at our website, killerauthorclub.com. So we have a fun, big announcement tonight. Kimberly, do you want to take that away?
That is right. Okay, you guys, we can release that breath that we didn't know we were holding. If you know, you know. And the members of the Facebook group Psychological Thriller Readers, they know. There are over 225,000 of them and growing. And if you've never been on that group, go over, but wait till this episode is done. Go check it out because they have all sorts of recommendations. You can make your own recommendations. They're talking about books that they love, all psychological thrillers, mystery, suspense. So we are super honored to be streaming to our to them tonight, our Killer Author Club episodes live to the group and spreading the book love, the killer book love. So to help celebrate, Kara, Heather, and I are each giving away a copy of our latest release. I'm doing The Personal Assistant. Kara has The Widow, and Heather has The Overnight Guest. And we will be giving away a copy to one lucky member of the Psychological Thriller Readers group. To enter, all you have to do is drop a comment letting us know which thriller writer you'd like for us to have on the show coming up. We are booking out to already into the fall, so let us know who you want to see. We will do what we can. We will work our Killer Author Club magic. But we're excited to be with you guys tonight, and thank you for joining us.
Yay, welcome.
Now, without further ado, Kara, would you please introduce our killer guests?
Kimberly, it is my honor. Liv Constantine is the pen name of sisters Lynne and Valerie. Lynne and Valerie are Wall Street Journal and USA Today international bestselling authors with over 1 million copies sold worldwide. Their books have been translated into 28 languages and are available in 33 countries and are in development for both television and film. Their books have been praised by USA Today, The Sunday Times, People Magazine, and Good Morning America, among many others. Their debut novel, The Last Mrs. Parrish, is a Reese Witherspoon Book Club selection. All right, Lynne and Valerie, welcome to the show. So great to have you guys. Yeah, all right, so will you guys give us the elevator pitch for The Senator's Wife, please?
Sure. A DC philanthropist is concerned that the home health care worker she hires to help her recover from surgery is actually making her worse, not better.
Scary.
Love it.
Okay. Thank you for that. All right. We'll talk about the book in all detail in just a minute. But for now, everyone settle in and let's hear about the killer cocktail for this episode. Heather or Kimberly.
Yes. You ladies chose the Ricky, which I had never heard of, as your cocktail. And if you're watching and you want to know if this is too quick for you on the screen, we have it up at killerauthorclub.com, the full recipe as well. So make sure to check that out. But ladies, why don't you tell us why you chose the Ricky for your cocktail tonight?
Well, the Ricky is a DC cocktail, so it's very much in line with the whole setting of the book. And we just thought it would be perfect. And it's very simple and easy to make.
It tastes good.
Yummy. I was going to say, and yummy, I'm sure.
Yes.
Well, cheers, ladies.
Yes, congratulations.
Here's
Another great read. So now we're ready for the big question of the night. So, but first, Chandler Baker, New York Times bestselling author of the Whisper Network, says a deadly cocktail of medical mystery, family drama, and psychological suspense. I'll admit, The Senator's Wife really got me. And Peter Swanson, New York Times bestselling author of 8 Perfect Murders, says Liv Constantine's The Senator's Wife is filled with secrets and switchbacks, cleverly concealing its best surprises for the final pages. Congratulations to both of you. So now, Lynne and Valerie, we need to know the answer to this question. How do you kill?
So you want to go? You go first. Well, do we have a way? Oh, so we choke.
Ooh,
Choke.
you've
Go ahead,
checked.
Valerie.
Okay.
We shoot.
And we shove off cliffs.
I love it.
We like the victim to know who the killer is and be up close and personal. So none of this poison stuff where they're just unaware. We like them face to face.
To face.
Face to face. Love it.
I love that answer. That's a great answer.
Yes, yes. Well, and the variety of killing is just very impressive as well.
Yeah. As long as it's face to face. I like that. That's great.
Exactly. So in the book, Sloan and Witt, they move among the high-powered elite of Washington, D.C. So why did you choose to write about this world?
I'll let Valerie take that one.
Okay. We knew that we wanted a political backdrop. It's not a political thriller, but we just wanted these halls of power to be part of the story. And originally we had set the book in Connecticut. And so all of the action would have taken place sort of in their home state and then nothing in Washington. And the more we thought about it, first of all, it just didn't seem to be working. And so then we moved it to Washington, D.C. I live in Maryland. We're both from Maryland. So I used to work in Washington. We're familiar with the area. And it's a fascinating city. There's so much to see. There's so much history. And we wanted to put a little bit of that in the book as well. So it just seemed like a really interesting setting for us. And then, of course, with the background of the Senate and the White House, that just made it more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully to readers as well.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
I read somewhere that with this particular story, you guys thought of the twist first and then like kind of built a story around it. Can you talk about that a little? Like, how does that work?
Sure.
Without giving the twist away, of course.
Right, of course. Yes. So we do normally start with the twist, and this one was a twist we were very excited about from the beginning. And so we knew what it was going to be, and then we had to figure out who were these people and what was going on and how were we going to deploy the twist. And of course, make the book about more than just the twist. I mean, we wanted to bring a lot of other, I guess, philosophies and relationships, and we wanted to explore other issues within that. So I can't really say too much about how it came about, but only that we sort of knew who the two women we knew, and the rest of it we sort of had to layer in. So like, this is a book also has 4 different perspectives, and this has the perspective of Rosemary, who's really one of our favorite characters, and she's the 80-year-old former mother-in-law of Sloane. And so, we were on the fence at one point of whether or not to include her point of view, because we didn't want to take too much away from Sloane. But I'm really glad that we kept her in, because I think she really rounds the book out a lot.
Mhm. I agree with that. Yeah. I liked her.
And I was wondering, how did you guys choose lupus as like kind of the disease? Does that have any or did you just select it, or does it have any relevance beyond just a character's?
It does have relevance. We had a cousin, very close cousin, who had lupus, and we watched over the years how she dealt with that illness, and what the treatment is like, what it is like to have it. And it's it's one of those chronic illnesses that you can look perfectly fine,
Right.
And so to the outside world, it seems like nothing's wrong with you, and really often in pain, and especially in a flare-up. And so we felt that, having seen that, we knew something about it. Obviously, we did more research on the illness and on the treatment, and we wanted, we didn't want her to have something where that there was a terminal
Right.
illness. This is obviously something you can live with, not that it's
Pleasant. Right.
pleasant, exactly. And because of the medication that you take with lupus, it can affect your bones, and she has to have a hip replacement because of the medicines that she's taken over the past 20 years.
Right.
So,
Yeah, lupus is no joke. They thought I had that when I was pregnant with my youngest. And when you start reading and going into a deep dive with that, I mean, I imagine your research was just fascinating as well. It's quite the
it can be really devastating.
Right.
It's because it attacks organs, and especially if there's central nervous system involvement, which in Sloane's case she did, and our cousin did as well. And one of the fears that she always had was worrying about if it affected her brain, and what that could be. It's one of the things that Sloane sort of has to battle with and think about, in terms of her future.
Right.
So.
And,
Yeah,
go ahead.
I was just going to say, because she starts having like hallucinations at one point, right? And she's not sure what's going on, and if that's coming from maybe the medication or the lupus itself.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
You weave the illness so seamlessly throughout the book that it doesn't define Sloane, because you do such a great job of presenting her as a whole character. It's one aspect of her life, but it's such an integral part of the journey throughout the story as well. So as the story progresses, so does Sloane's health begins to deteriorate more and more, and we as readers never quite know what's going on and whom to trust. So you talked a little bit about the stories being told in 4 different points of view. How do you handle that as a duo in writing? Do you each take a different character, or how do you do that? It's just, I would think it'd be amazing to write a novel with one of my siblings, but how to tackle that? What do you do?
Tons of people asking that question.
Yeah.
Right. We write. I mean, when we wrote The Last Mrs. Parrish, we sort of divided the characters initially, even though we did write in other parts. But after that, I mean, and our process is always evolving, I believe, with every single book. And we just came to realize that we have to be both fully invested in every single character, because it's not as though they're in isolation, right? I mean, even if I write one and Valerie writes another, they're interacting in the other chapters. So we really just tackle it by scenes. And we talk every morning and say, what do you want to write? What do you want to write? And okay, and we go and we do it. And then we email that chapter to each other. We edit each other's chapters. We talk about it, at the end of the day. And that's how it goes on. And then we probably do 2 or 3, sometimes even 4 full revisions of the book, at which point, again, we're editing each other. So hopefully you really can't tell who's written what, and the voice stays consistent.
Yeah,
Wow.
absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
There are even times I think that we don't know who, like, but both of us will claim when there's a really great sentence.
Then it's always, yes.
I think I wrote that one.
And of course, Valerie writes all the sex scenes.
Oh, you beat me to that. I was going to tattle on you.
I love that.
You
So-
have like one gigantic Google Doc that you're working in?
No, we do not. We tried that and it was awful. We couldn't work in that.
Because we have to be able to see what changes. So we work in Word, and I used to do a lot of it in Scrivener, but that just became cumbersome as well, even though there are great things about that software. But for us, it's just easier because then we can edit each other and track changes, so the other person can see and either accept or say, no, I don't like that, or see what's going on.
Yeah.
And when you get to the intimate killing part, who gets to write that?
Lynn writes that too. She really does write sex scenes too. And
And the killing scenes.
The killing.
And the Killer Author Clubs, we have to talk about who gets to write the killing scene.
Yes.
Right. We both do that.
You do? Okay, good.
Yeah. We share it.
Do you ever
And then hone it.
have some sibling rivalry over an idea? Like,
Never, ever, ever. Yes, we do.
how do you resolve it? So I can imagine, like, you both have wonderful, amazing ideas, and you might have to settle on, going one direction or another.
We talk it through. It's usually happens if we've either hit a stumbling block in the like if how you get to a point in your book and you're like, okay, this isn't working. How am I going to fix it? And at that point, sometimes we'll have very different ideas of how that's going to be, and that's probably the time where we kind of get a little grouchy, maybe, and kind of make our case. And then, but we really do try to figure out what's the best thing for the story. I mean, it's not about the ego. It's not about getting your idea across to the other idea. So most of the time we do come around to it, but I think it's also because we take a lot of time developing our characters and we really know them so well. So it's a little bit easier than to say, okay, well, that's a great idea, but would she really do that? Really think about this situation, and then the other one will go, yeah, you're right. Okay, no, we can't do that. And that's how it gets resolved.
We've never really had a knockdown drag out yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was funny because we had written something for a blog about how 2 sisters write together without killing each other. And then like that afternoon, we got into an argument about something. And we hadn't argued in a year. I was like, oh, great. I should have never said that. So, it's fine. We just say that.
Yeah, we got past it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because I've talked to Liz and Lisa about writing together, and they'd get in like really big.
They fight. Yeah. Well, they both say to each other, like, this is terrible. I mean, we're very kind. We don't criticize.
Yeah.
And I don't remember which book, but they say this one book almost like broke up their friendship forever. They were like ready to call it quits. I guess when you're sisters, I don't know. They've been best friends for a really long time. So I don't know.
Yeah, no, it seems to work for them. But no, the harshest thing one will say to the other is, well, this could use some work. Like that's
you mind if we work on this a little bit? Yeah. Move this around.
But I imagine it's kind of like, the relationship that you have with an editor, right? Because at the end of the day, you just want to make the book the best it can be. So if you keep that in mind and maybe don't get too sensitive about, criticism.
You can't be sensitive, right? I mean, you have to accept, you have to have the thick skin where the criticism, constructive criticism is concerned. Yeah,
and it helps. I think it's helped us too with working with our editors because we're so used to sort of getting notes from each other that we're just more open because we've been collaborative the whole time. So
right. I know. I remember meeting you guys the first time, and you were working on like the final draft of one of the books, and you guys were in the corner, and I'm like, oh, I wish I had a sister I could write it with. Like, I mean, it looks like, because you have a team, which is to me really nice.
Yeah, it's true.
Amazing.
But you do stuff with your daughter with a screenplay.
Yes, so that's been fun.
That's really nice.
Yeah, that's been
And,
great.
and Kimberly's with the young
All of
Regina.
those.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yeah.
What I
Afraid
love
to-
about it is, it's really, it's so much more fun to brainstorm with other people.
Yeah.
Like by
Yes.
yourself,
Yeah.
you're just kind of like, but
Right.
when you have other people and you can bounce ideas off of each other, and it just like builds on,
It does.
builds
It makes
on,
a
and
huge difference.
yeah.
Yeah.
But wait, one of you writes solo books too, right? Or do you both?
And does.
Yeah. I write the the Network and the Silent Conspiracy, which are more, conspiracy thrillers, a little bit more action oriented. Yeah, as Elsie Shaw. And it was, when I was writing those, I wanted to call Valerie. I mean, I would run certain things by her, but I couldn't obviously impose upon her to finish chapters for me and stuff like that. Like together. So it was hard. Yeah. Especially being used to the collaboration.
Yeah.
And how did it start? How did it start writing together?
Oh, it started a long time ago, over 20 years ago. We were both working. Lynn was in Maryland at the time, so we lived near each other. And Lynn said, "What?" Well, I'll back up a little bit. We both loved reading stories about families, so family sagas, and especially different ethnicities. And Lynn said to me, there really isn't a book about a Greek family, and I think we should write one. And so we decided to write one. And it's a book about two sisters who live in Baltimore, right?
But it wasn't us. But the terrible thing is, one of them had this awful mother-in-law, right? She married a non-Greek, and the mother-in-law hated her. And so my mother-in-law was like, "Oh my gosh, is that me?"
No.
And plus the husband was horrible. I said, "Your son's not horrible. Like, it's totally not you." But it was because some of the characters were like, the Greek family was a lot like our family. But anyway, that was a little tricky. But.
So that was our first foray into writing, and the kind of writing where you don't know how much you don't know, kind of thing.
Yes.
We did get published by a small publisher, and it is still available online.
But it's not a thriller, right? It's not
Well,
But it does have that. It does
I think
have.
it would be considered that now, maybe.
Yeah.
It has. I mean, there's a thread of it where there's somebody doing something that puts people in jeopardy, and there's a lot of deception and betrayal. So, probably a combination of.
But we didn't write it as a thriller.
Right
But
now.
we didn't write Mrs. Parrish as a thriller either. We considered that women's. No, we were calling it women's fiction. And our agent said, "This is a thriller," and we said, "Okay, it's a thriller." Whatever you say.
Again. Yeah, that book had such a great twist.
Yeah.
It was a good twist. Yeah,
Fun books, right? Really fun.
Yes.
twists
So
are really fun to come up with, don't you? Don't you love coming up with your twists?
No,
Yeah.
well, I love it when I'm working with other people, but by myself, it's so hard.
Oh, and you have such great twists in your books.
Well, thank you. But like thriller readers are so smart and they've seen all the twists. And so I know I'm not saying I want to fool them, but I want to give them something unexpected. And how do you do that when they read so widely and other authors are so clever? And I think it's the hardest part.
It is. And they're going to say, okay, well, they're probably, because they're trying to outsmart
Right.
you well and figure out what you're doing. So it does get tricky. But
Yeah.
but you do it very well.
well, thank you. So do all three of
So do you. So do all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You guys, you know what time it is, I think? I think it might be killer giveaway time. Is it? Okay. So Lynne and Valerie are giving away one hardback copy of The Senator's Wife to one lucky winner. All you have to do is answer this question about our killer guest, and we'll pick from the correct answer. Bonus points if you join the Killer Author Clubhouse Facebook group. You'll want to go there. It's really good. Or subscribe to our YouTube channel. And somebody looked for me, and I think it's like 320. We're up to yes. Okay. Thanks, everybody. All right. The question is, Lynne and Valerie's debut novel, The Last Mrs. Parrish, was selected for which very famous book club?
Who could it be? We'll pop back in and around this time tomorrow night and choose a winner at random from one of these groups. So for sure. And if you guys have watched us before, you know that we love independent bookstores. And so we always ask our guest authors what their favorite indie is, something close to them, something they visited. And you guys selected Fairfield University Bookstore in Fairfield, Connecticut as your favorite. Lynne and Valerie, tell us why this store is special to you.
This is the first store, actually, when I first moved here and Circle Dance was our book. They made it the book of the month. It was Borders back then, before it was Fairfield.
Oh, wow.
And the day manager that was there, he was there at the time. And they were so kind to us. We were these newbie unknowns. They end capped the book and were super supportive. And then when Parrish came out and we went back, and we hadn't seen Craig in like 20 years, right? And he just always is extremely supportive. He makes every event that we have special, whether it's at the store, he goes out of his way to have it at the university, different venues. And, they've always got our books on display. So they've been terrific. I mean, there's so many terrific ones. I feel bad that he's been really a standout.
Yeah, he's been amazing.
Yeah.
Love it.
So
I just dropped the link in the comments. So look at that. You can click on it and it'll take you straight to the order page. So you can order 10 or 20 or 120 and probably all your backlist as well. So order up.
Very cool. Oh, and just a reminder to everybody, make sure you drop the answer to that killer question that we had about Valerie and Lynne, and also drop any comments or questions you have for the authors. We want you to be as interactive as possible during these chats, because we want you to be able to let have your voice be heard during this time together. And now we have a new segment for the Killer Author Club.
The cutest ever.
Isn't that fun?
Heather is our graphics guru.
Well, this is how good I'm at it. I have the first part of that, but I didn't upload the second part of that. So we are honoring our killer alumni, Kate White. She has a new book out today, Between Two Strangers. So it's called Deliciously Addictive and as Impossible to Predict as It Is to Put Down. And so Kate's book is out today, and she is giving away a copy to one lucky winner. So if you just let us know you're here, you'll be entered into that drawing as well. So congratulations to Killer alumni Kate White.
She's awesome.
Yay. But that's not all. We're also celebrating.
That's not all. So
Celebrating?
yes, we have another one. Let me.
So cute. So Killer Author Club celebrates. As much as we'd love to invite every amazing killer author to be featured on the show, we really can't, because there's only 3 of us and we're doing too many shows as it is, but it's fun. It's really fun. We like it. Okay. We like to sleep and see our families. But we'd like to celebrate Michelle Gannon's newest, Killing Me. Amber Jameson escaped a serial killer, then things got weird. That sounds really terrifying. Okay. You think escaping one psychopath would be enough, but Amber's problems are just beginning. Yikes. Okay. And Love Lost on Cloud 9 by Casey Brote is a thrilling tale of domestic suspense set in the summer of 1978. Sharon and Kip Walsh are newlyweds excited to start their life together in their new home, even if it's next door to the abandoned Cloud 9 Family Fun Center. Yikes. But as they settle in, Sharon begins to uncover secrets about Kip and the house that threatens to tear their perfect live apart. Thanks. Okay, congratulations to Michelle and Casey, and you guys we have links, I'm sure Kimberly's already put in there, and anyway, we congratulate you guys.
Yes, congrats. And membership has its privileges, y'all. Every episode, we choose a name from the Killer Author Club House, which is our private group on Facebook. And we choose a name out of the hat to win a piece of Killer Author Club swag. We have t-shirts, mugs, candles, totes, hats, all sorts of fun stuff, all of which can be found at killerauthorclub.com. Tonight's winner is Michelle Harger. Michelle, please send one of the killers your address and we will send some swag your way.
Yay, congratulations. And oh my gosh, has 30 minutes gone by already? Unbelievable. So we're at that point in the show, which Valerie and Lynn, we are so happy to be able to say that you survived the Killer Author Club. And we bestow upon you this lovely badge that you will send to you, and you can print out and hang on your walls. I see all your lovely book covers up there. You can add this to it. So congratulations for making it through an entire episode of the Killer Author Club.
Thank you. Might have to make a necklace out of it.
Yeah.
Good. You could. That would be a first. We would love that. And we'd bring you back for that. We would.
Okay.
Okay.
Valerie and the Killer Author Club necklace. I love it. Okay. Awesome. All right, guys. I think that does it for tonight's episode. Thank you to everyone for tuning in.
This was great.
Great
Really
to see
good.
all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we're back in 2 weeks on May 20th with a double header. First, beginning at 8 Eastern Time, we have a book club with a master of suspense, Alex Finley. We'll be discussing What Have We Done? The book that E! says it's safe to say Finley is one of the genre's most exciting voices. Remember, Killer Author Book Club is exclusive to the Killer Author Clubhouse, the private Facebook group. And there will be spoilers and giveaways. In fact, Alex is giving away 5 copies of What Have We Done? So that's kind of cool. So come join us and we'll drop the link in the comments. And after book club, we'll be right back here with the one and only Wendy Walker, who will chat with us about her newest, What Remains, about which Alex Feeney, New York Times bestselling author of Rock, Paper, Scissors, says is perfectly plotted and beautifully written. I was gripped from the first page. For times, the full schedule, past episodes, recipes, merch, and so much more, go to killerauthorclub.com. You can see it all, like past episodes, everything. And we'll see you guys right back here for the next, it's in 2 weeks, right? Yes, 2 weeks. 2 weeks. And in the meantime, go get yourself a fun new t-shirt or hat or water bottle. And thanks for being here tonight.
Thank you.
Thank
you. Thank you for having us.
I guess I'm a killer through our love into the